Hi guys, and welcome to a new episode of Brave Frontier Europe Units Analysis. Today we are going to take a look at Tiara, the second water healer after Elimo. So in this video, I'm going to show you whether she can be a good healer or not by comparing her to other healers. And at the same time, I will explain how recovery stats affects the healing amount the units will receive from heal and healing potions. First, we are going to look at her attack animation. Her normal attack has 5 hits, a quite low hit count, but since she's a healer, 5 hits are not that bad really. About her attack animation, it has quite slow start, but Shin is a ranged attack, a slow start is not really a problem. Then the animation starts with 3 hits, a little delay, then 2 less hits, a bit slower than the first one. I think it's a quite decent animation despite the delay, because it's still quite easy to spot with the first 3 hits or the last 2 ones. Now let's compare her to Elmo and Lancia. In terms of hit counts, Elmo got 5 hits, same as Tiara, but her attack animation has a super slow start, but fortunately it's a ranged attack with no delay and the 5 hits are really fast. So if you time her attack right, you'll have no problem to spot. So I would say Elmo is better in attack animation. And if we compare Tiara now to Lancia, you can see quite easily that Tiara wins in this area, since Lancia only has 3 hits and each of her hits is quite slow. Now let's take a look at her Brave Burst. It can gradually recover HP and add water element to attack for your team for 3 turns. Some players still have a misconcept of this effect, so I'll make some tests and show you guys how it works. So let's focus on Kikuri and Xavier's damage. It varies a bit before and after the buff, but it's probably because of the reign of weither in the damage formula. So we can assume that there is no change in damage before and after the Brave Burst, which means that it does not override your unit's element. It simply adds one more element, and only the most effective element is taken into account when calculating damage. But keep in mind that it's only for your unit's attack, and in defense, they stay with the natural elements. Now, let's see if the buff is effective before or after the Brave Burst animation. So, I launch Kikuri's attack first, then cast Brave Burst, then launch Douglas' attack after that. With the slow motion, we can see clearly that Douglas' attack hit the burning first, but his attack is increased by 3 times, while Kikuri's attack stays at the same level, even though it starts after Douglas. The only way to explain this is that the damage is calculated at the moment the attack is launched, even before the animation starts, and that Tiara's buff is effective instantly after the Brave Burst is cast. So you don't have to wait for the Brave Burst animation to end. You can attack with other units as soon as her Brave Burst is launched. This buff might not be useful in most situations, but it can help you finish your opponent quickly if he happens to be fire elements. So if you don't have a mono water team, bring her to have an easy time against Garland, Vargas, and Guyana in the future. Now it's time to make some tests to see how recovery affects heal and potion in this game. My test subjects this time will be Kikuri Oracle and Margaret's Anima. The difference in recovery is almost 1.1k, so with this huge gap, it will be easy to see how recovery affects heal. First, with Elmo Brave Burst level 8, Kikuri is healed by 4k, while Margaret is only healed by 2.9k. So the difference is also 1.1k. We got the same gap with Lancia Brave Burst level 1 as well. So we can notice that the difference in healing amount between Margaret and Kikuri corresponds to the difference in recovery between those 2 units. However, with Tiara's Brave Burst level 1, my Kikuri is healed by 3k and my Margaret is healed by 2.8k after 3 turns, which is only 200 HP of difference. That means recovery doesn't have a huge impact on Tiara's regeneration. With that in mind, I'll use potion to see if recovery affects healing amounts of potions or not. And the result is 1.2k HP of difference between Kikuri and Margaret. So we can assume that potions and burst heal gives a fixed amount with 110% of recovery of your units. Indeed, with the official numbers, we can see that only 10% of recovery is added to regeneration, and even if you level up her Brave Burst, the difference is only 100 to 200 HP per turn. Therefore, don't waste your time and zeal to level up her Brave Burst, because it's not worth the efforts. Add to that, she needs 23 battle crystals to fill her Brave Burst, a decent Brave Burst fill rate but a quite slow one compared to other healers. Indeed, it's like 3 battle crystals more than what Elmo, Lancer or L3 needs. And even though Elmo and Lancer's fixed heal amount is much lower, the recovery added is like 4 times more than Tiara's Brave Burst. So with a high recovery stat, a burst heal will give more HP than a regeneration, and I also prefer burst heal because against tough boss, you might need to heal some units on the verge of dying, and a regen of 1k per turn might not be enough to help your unit survive the next attack. And to add to that, I find that defense and attack buff is more useful than adding water element, which is a really situational buff. Now let's take a look at her little skill. It adds 50% attack when 5 elements or more are present in your team. So it's exactly the same as Michelle's little skill. For those who haven't watched my Michelle's analysis, I'll make a little test to show you how it works. We'll look at Kikuri's damage in a team of 4 different elements with Tiara as leader, and in a team of 5 different elements with the same leader. The difference in damage is 1.5, which is equivalent to 50% of damage added to the damage. So you can use her as a substitute or an alternative rainbow leader if you don't have Michelle or other units with the same leader skill. Now let's move on to her stats and type discussion. So with 4.8k HP, 1.2k attack, 1.3k defense and 2k recovery as lot, she obviously got way too much recovery and quite decent and balanced in other stats. So the best type for her would definitely be Anima, which boosts her HP up to 5.4k. You should aim for 5k HP for all your units for now anyway. Since we will use her mainly as a healer, type ranking should be really easy. So go for most defensive to less defensive types, and it should be like this. Guardian for more defense than Lord. Breaker and Oracle would be equally bad for her, since she either loses HP or defense, but her stats are still quite okay in those types, especially when Oracle type will be improved in the next huge update in 2 weeks. So if you have her in Oracle, don't worry too much about it. If we were to compare her stats to Elmo or Lancer, she will have an upper hand since she has 100 to 200 HP, 200 attack and 200 recovery more than the others do, while her defense at the same level. So overall she has a higher stats. But in general, I would still prefer Lancer and Elmo for their burst heal and the buff, which are more useful in most situations. Now let's have a little conclusion to finish this analysis. She has good stats, although a bit less recovery and more HP would be nicer. 5 hits are quite slow hit count, but is good enough for a healer, and her attack animation is quite decent and easy enough to spot, but could have been better without the delay in the middle of the animation. Her little skill is really good if you want to build a rainbow team, that's it. And her heal can be quite nice if you have a defensive team that doesn't lose much HP after a boss assault, and it is certainly a great heal if your unit's recovery is low. And lastly, you should definitely bring her if you want to have an easy time against fire bosses such as Gallons, Vargas, and Kayana in the future. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see my other units analysis video.